Well, since going water-cooled, there's only been 3 generations of Porsche 911. In fact, this is the 3rd and new generation. It's called the 991. Let me point out to you the stuff you'll need as a Porsche spotter. First of all, the wheelbase grew 4 inches. That's axle to axle. But what they've done is shorten the overhang because the entire body only grew by 2 inches. So what you've got is a little more aggressive look. It's not a big difference, but it's a subtle sort of pushing to the corners of the wheels. You've also got a little bit of a greater width in the front now, gives the car, viewed from the top, a little more of a Coke bottle shape. Again, part of a more aggressive, sporty stance. You can spot this car mostly from the rear. Let's go back there. Real big difference now in the rear treatment, and these taillights in particular. They've got LED strings around them which illuminate, but you can see they're much sharper, pointier, and flatter. That's the most controversial and biggest change on this car. It looks a little bit like an Aston Martin part, but I'm not the one who's going to say that to their face. Oh, by the way, the spoiler now, which lifts up here in the back and has been electrified for a number of years, now works through software in conjunction with the sunroof. They balance each other out, depending where you've got them open, to create the optimal lack of turbulence. That's kind of cool. Another big innovation is the world's smallest engine cover. Look at this little guy. It used to be small. Now it's minuscule. Dear Porsche mechanics, good luck. In here now, as you can see, this is the 3.8. This guy's an S. The standard car's gone down to a 3.4, but picked up 5 horsepower to 350. This guy's picked up 15 horsepower in the bigger S motor to 400 on the nose. Interesting efficiency technologies are being used here as well. You've got electric power steering now, so you no longer have another rotating accessory with a belt dragging the engine down. You've got some limited brake regeneration. That's going to build back electricity to charge the battery, again, taking load off the alternator, so it has to work less hard. The more things you can freewheel, the less this engine has to run those, and it can spend moving the car, which is kind of the point on one of these. Now down here where this engine still looks like an engine, a lot of things have changed, many of them for efficiency. First of all, you no longer have a hydraulic power steering pump. This car has electric power steering. You have automatic start-stop when you come to a red light or a stop sign. That's a little controversial in a car of this lineage. Let's see, you've also got some brake regeneration. Hit the brakes and it puts juice back in the battery, taking some load off the alternator, which takes some load off the engine. And they now have adaptive engine mounts. This is kind of like adaptive suspension. When you're driving the car leisurely, these electro-hydraulic mounts will be soft and the engine can kind of, bounce around and be decoupled from the car. When you're really standing on it, they stiffen up and the engine almost becomes like a stressed member of the whole frame of the vehicle. It's not as nice a ride, but when you're really on it, you don't care. You want the vehicle to tighten up. Very interesting technology. And as you can see, big difference inside. They've gone to the kind of bigger, upward-sloping Panamera-style console. But I got to be honest, I keep coming back to the longer wheelbase on this car. It intrigues me the most for a couple of reasons. One, it's rumored, not confirmed, that they kind of bumped up the size of the car that way to make room for a hybrid power plant. Porsche's been doing lots of hybrid stuff around the fringes. That wouldn't surprise me, but unusual in a 911. Also, you've seen that ad campaign, Porsche every day. When you have a longer wheelbase, you get a more comfortable ride. I'm curious what the reception will be among the real serious 911 fans. If this is considered a push toward the more comfortable everyday 911 that they may eschew, but will probably sell like hotcakes if it's a more comfortable every driver. Either way, we'll find out soon. February of 2012, the on-sale date for this car starts off at $83,000 base for a standard 911, $97,000 for an S. There's a lot of other improvements on the S, by the way, aside from just the motor.